Okay, so I'm here again on live, and I'm going to be adding somebody to come and join me today. This is always a bit of a weird thing for me to do. I don't know why. It's always just a bit strange. So bear with me, and you can see who it is in a few minutes. I'm very excited to be speaking to this person today about myths and hacks. She is online. She works online. Yay, you've made it,
Hi,
Anna.
yeah.
Hi.
So lovely to meet you because we've been in touch now for quite some time, right? But we've never
we,
met like that. We've never chatted like in
I,
person.
I know. Thank you for being so game and joining me live today. It's fun. And you know what? I love your handle. Like, as soon as I saw your handle, like, not just as spouse, when we first came across each other, I was like, oh, I've felt like this before. Like, I wonder if she's what I think she is. So I really love I really love your name. Anna as
Thank
well,
you.
right?
Thank you very much. I think it's self-explanatory, right? Not
Yes.
just a spouse, because
And
we're
I think
never spouses.
And I think it's always, I think it's also a bit of if you know, you know, like if you've been a training spouse or if you've moved overseas with a partner's work or something like that, like it kind of like calls to you. Like if you've been in that position, like you see that handling, you're like, I think I know what she's all about.
Cool. Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me today. We're talking about myths and hacks for this crazy overseas life. So I'm Julie, and I grow our property portfolio in the UK from outside of the UK. Started off as a stay-at-home mum. Do you just want to tell everyone who you are, Anna, where you are and what you do?
So my name is Anna, and I'm currently based in Lebanon, Beirut, and I am a coach for expat and diplomatic spouses, and I help them go from invisible and lost to very powerful and purposeful, because it's all based on my personal journey. And as you mentioned, Julie, it's very easy to dissolve in this, trailing spouse role and just basically reduced to, yeah, just a spouse, his
Mm.
spouse, and their mom. And I've
Yes.
seen so many women going through it, and that's why, and I was one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I love it. It's so powerful what you do. It really is. So I'm very excited to speak to you about myths because I think we're going to be quite aligned on this one. So what I mean by myths is like things that, because you obviously run your business on, well, I'm saying obviously, but online, and that, like, as you move somewhere
Yeah.
else, your business goes with you. It's not linked to a location. So you have created this, business that gives you location freedom irrespective of where your spouse's job takes you. So what myths have you heard, or do you hear all the time that you're just like, no, that's just not true?
Well, Miss, I don't know. There are lots of them. Are you talking now about work and life balance? When you're moving around the world.
Yeah, I suppose both of them, like they both fascinate me because I find this sort of life when you're running a business online with location freedom, it's kind of like tied together, like life and business. So one of the ones that I get really regularly is, oh, you just can't grow a property portfolio if you're not in the UK. And it's like, well, I'm not lying. I'm here in Malaysia or Japan or wherever in the world we are. Like, I clearly can, and it's kind of like it's just something that not all people, but a lot of people just really believe, whether they're expats or not. So that's a work one, but yeah, either a business related one or a lifestyle related one, really.
Well, I actually think, I mean, it's probably not a myth, but I worked this out the hard way, by really kind of doing things the wrong way for a long, long time, and becoming so exhausted that I said, well, that's the only way actually to go about. If you're really relocating a lot, let's say every 2, 3 to 5 years, I think if you try to keep like the normal career in terms of being employed and going to the office, whatever you do, it would mean your life is a constant
Mm.
stop and go, right? Because if, let's say, you move to a new country, you have to find a new job, you settle in, and then you move again. And I've done it over and over and over, and at some point I just could not do it anymore. And I think, hence, for me, something portable is actually, if you know you're really going to move around all the time, I think just start as soon as you can. Just, I would say, right, just focus on something that is portable, because the other a way of going about, I don't know, creating this continuity in your work, I think it's pretty much mission impossible.
Mm.
This is my personal take. How do you view it, Julie? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I mean, I run our business, online from wherever we are. And did you say then Mission Impossible or Mission Possible?
Yeah.
How to, yeah,
No,
Mission
I
Possible.
think if you impossible if you
Hmm.
living lifestyle where for your career it means stop and
Yes,
go, building up, like opening the shop, closing the shop, opening the shop, closing the shop. Like it's not sustainable
it's
because as you
exhausting.
know, really, it's
It's
exhausting and it's not
exhausting. Yeah,
sustainable because by the time you've built something, things are kind of finally getting traction. It takes time, it takes years
yeah,
to
yeah,
build something, and kind of you now things are picking up and it's so sad and devastating to kind of say, no, well, I'm actually leaving, I have to go again.
yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
just
And
could no longer do it. This is for me was like, there's so much time on me and effort and energy is going into building something. I can no longer kill it.
yeah,
I have to
yeah, no.
like something has to take,
I
I
can,
have to take
I
it with
can,
me.
I can totally relate to that. And I think that that was one of my, I don't want to say fears, but I think it was something that I was aware of as we stepped into, like we became expats first. And I didn't know how frequently we were going to be moving, but it was an intentional decision to move with my husband's work. So it was likely that, we could be moving again at short notice. You know what, like we weren't diplomats, but, overseas work, he was an engineer. So we were very aware that work could move for him quite quickly. And I just kind of thought, I don't want to step into a world, like you described there, where it's stop and starting. So in my mind, I always had this, I have to create something that I can take online with me. And what I find strange, and I'm so grateful we did, and weirdly property became that thing for me. But I'm so grateful we did, because then it gives you the stability. So when you move somewhere else, the background might be different, but your life, your routine, what you do, who you interact with as part of your business, it stays the same. And that I find makes the move so much easier. Do you find that?
Oh, absolutely. Because I think what you really need and what you crave, when your lifestyle is very, very mobile, is continuity. You
Yeah.
just want continuity. You like reinventing yourself, sorry, and in your job and everything from scratch, from zero, every, let's say, 3 years. I just don't think it's sustainable. It
Yeah.
might be fun to start with, but if sorry, do it long enough, it's a burnout.
Yeah.
Like
It
you will
really
be
is.
exhausted. It's like, what's the point? I'll be leaving soon
Yeah.
anyway. Like, really, what's the point?
Yeah, no, I can totally relate. And what's strange is we now live nomadically, so we travel full time. So we moved from expat life to nomad life. And somebody said to me the other week, your life is so unstable, Julie. Like you move all the time. Like how do you cope? And I looked at them and I was like, well, the background changes, yes, but in terms of like what we do and how we live, like, I mean, even for our kids' schooling and things like that, but especially like how we work and how we do things is kind of the same wherever we are. So I was fascinated that they saw our life as unstable and chaotic. And I was like, we kind of do the same thing wherever we are. Like, obviously we eat different foods and do different activities, but like the way the days work. But I guess that's the perception, right? If people don't live this like globally mobile life, it must seem really chaotic, but it doesn't have to be if you've got your work thing online.
Exactly, exactly. So, and obviously, when we embarked on this journey, no one gave us a handbook, right? This is
No,
how to
where
make
is
the most
that?
out of it. This is how to thrive. This is how, you do this and that. No, so we kind of like trial and error, right? A lot of loops and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So
absolutely.
basically, things were not working for quite some time. At least for me, is that I really learned most of it the hard way,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
really the hard way, just by doing it. And hey, asset, it's not working. I think different. And I think if you're going to live a very mobile lifestyle, like what you're doing and what I'm doing, I think yes, really the key to a happily ever after,
yeah.
you've got to create this continuity because things around you will be always changing. People, places, as you say, foods. So you have to have this anchor and
Yes,
continuity and stability within you. Like, you've got to create it because
yeah.
yeah, and then you
And it is
take it with you
possible.
wherever you go. And
Yeah.
it's
And
possible.
and it's
But you
possible
have
if
to
you
be
imagine it
deliberate.
and yes, and want to design it. Yes, you've got to know that that's the thing, because it's
Exactly.
so easy. It's so easy to fall into a local thing where everybody you interact with is local, and like your clients local. It's so easy to fall into that in places, isn't it?
Exactly. So the thing is, you have to be very intentional. You have to know, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is how I'm doing it. Okay,
Yeah.
this is where I am. I always say it's like a roadmap. Like, I get in the car, you need to know where you are. like, you know, okay, this is my life, these are the constraints, this is what's happening. But you also need to know where you really want to go, because otherwise the chances of you accidentally bumping into, you know, your dream life are very slim.
Yeah, very slim, very slim. That's it. I was like, my kind of like mission, my like idea in my head when, you know, when I was trying to set up the online work from Abu Dhabi was, I want to be able to grow our property portfolio, manage our property business from wherever we are in the world. Like wherever we are shouldn't matter. I need to be able to do everything. And like, I'd imagine myself, like, you know, we'd go on holiday and be like, right, I'm not going to take the 2 weeks holiday. I still want to be able to do stuff. Like, can I do everything from Sri Lanka where we were on holiday or things like that? So you're absolutely right. You've got to have the like emotional idea of like how you want things to be so that you can create the reality.
I agree. Yes, I think who said that? You know, I think Bob Proctor said, right? You know, what you can have in your head, you can have in your hand. You know, but it all
I love
starts
that.
with a vision. Or you kind of
Exactly.
and I think if people come to me and say, "Hey, I don't know what I want," like, you know, hey, well, how would you like to feel? Like, imagine your ideal day, like, really, because otherwise, like, how on earth it it has to start somewhere, and I think it starts kind of in your imagination and just like as you
Yes.
said, hey, I would like this, and
Yeah.
then it's very tightly connected to the question, like, you know, what's important to me? Like for
Yeah.
you, it's important to have freedom and something like literally like, you know, portable portfolio that you take with you from Sri Lanka to Abu Dhabi to, I don't know, moon, and still happily, you know, working away on what you've created. I think this is like basically bottom line intentions, right? You have to
Yeah.
be intentional.
I love that word. I love that word. So the next thing I want to speak to you about is, you know, as somebody who's very experienced moving around, like, you know, traveling a lot, what hacks have you got for traveling, for doing a lot of travel? Have you got any sort of like go-to things? And it could be things that you do to make travel easier. It could be things that you do to establish life sort of like quite quickly. One thing that we do, just as a for example, is like we regularly or make one of our habits to do 10,000 steps a day. So no matter where we are, we try and like do 10,000 steps a day, because not only does it mean you exercise, but it means that you know, as a family, you chat, and it also means practically you get to know the area, because you probably get lost and you get to know your way around. So that's one of our things. So have you got any, or what hacks have you got like that for a travel-y kind of lifestyle?
For people who move around, I would say, so maybe it sounds less practical, but let's say I would say that the key is look for the positives wherever you are. Let's say you landed in a new place, and well, I would have two tips. Don't compare to the place you were in before. Like
Oh
it
wow, yeah,
often is like a killer to like comparison, right? In general, it's like, oh, that was better. Oh, I miss. No, just a lot kind of for at least to start with, just forget about what you had before and just focus on where you are right now, and look for the positives. Like every day, your mission is find 10 or start with 5. It's about the place that you really like. You know, you have to be deliberate about looking for the good things, you know, and directing your focus, because in some countries, well, it's very easy, so to speak, to see the negatives.
yes, yeah,
They're in your face.
yeah,
So you have to,
yeah,
and you only keep seeing those, well, it
yeah,
will be a tough ride, you know, and that's why I think let's just like, you know, train yourself to see the positives. And it's like, you know, okay, every day, what were 5 good things? And if you have family, ask your kids too, like, you know, what
yeah,
was name 5 things or 3, I don't know, whatever. If it's really
yeah.
tough place, we'll start with 3. But like, you know, what good was there today? Like, what did you
Yeah,
notice? Like, you know, people
yeah,
were friendly, or I don't know, things
yeah.
like that. That's
I love
my
that.
tips.
I love that. It's one question we have as a family every night. Like, what are you grateful for today? Like, you know, what person or what thing? I actually saw somebody who jumped on here before, Scott. So like, you know, they're a family that we've bumped into here really recently, and they've just been like wonderful, and they've been like, you know, speaking to my kids and like giving them tips on taking pictures and things like that. And I'm just so grateful for their like, you know, interaction, and for them, you know, sharing knowledge with the kids. And we will school, our kids don't go to school, so interactions like that are just so lovely. So like, you know, conversations with them are wonderful. So it's a question we always say every day, like, what are you grateful for? And I love your don't compare as well, because you can just spend your life wishing you were somewhere else, you know, or imagining or trying to create your past life in a new place, which just, you're not finding the best in a location then, are you?
No, you're no longer present, right? Because you're kind of really
Yes.
in your head. looking on here, oh gosh, I miss that. And but again, I think we're all humans, and like I have it too. And like, you know, there are some days you're like, oh my God, really?
It's
Like
hard.
I'm in Lebanon and I love this country, but it's dysfunctional, it's chaotic, it's and sometimes it gets to you. And I think it's okay kind of to, or if you really just moved, you're still grieving. I think, I don't know whether that's a question too, because you said you are no longer expat, you're a nomad, so which means you're really moving around a lot. Like, do your kids, like yourself, do you go through, like, you grieve, right? It's because it's a loss when you move and you really get to, if you grow into place and people,
Yeah,
let's say, if I be here somewhere, I do have connections, like I have a special bond with where I am. And it hurts a bit, you know, to start
yeah,
with. It's painful to kind of, hey,
it does.
say
It
over.
does. And I think something that I'm not saying I'm trying to think of a better word to use than trained myself, or like a habit that we try to form as a family. You know, when you're saying goodbye to people, or when you know you're moving on, you're leaving a place, like it's not to focus on like being sad that we're leaving, but I try and focus on being like happy that we met you, because the only reason why I'm sad now is because I've met you. So the only way not to be sad now would be not to have met you, and I wouldn't want that. So I'm really happy that we met. I'm really excited that we've connected. And rather than goodbye, it's like I'm really excited about where we're going to see you again in the world. Or, you know, often it's like I'm really excited to think when we're going to come back to this place. And I just find that that makes the move ons easier, because, you know, we can go back to anywhere. And when you're speaking to globally mobile people, then you can and are very likely to bump into them who knows where in the world at pretty short notice. I mean, I find that. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. I think there is a quote, don't cry because it's over, smile because it
Yeah,
happened. And
there we go.
that's the your philosophy. Here you go. Yeah. Uh,
Beautifully put. Oh, well, I think on that note, that thank you so much for this conversation. I've really enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful for people joining. Um, uh, do you want to just tell us where people can find you if they want to connect with you, or work with you about their overseas life?
Yes, absolutely. So, and Julie, you know, I do run regular masterclasses and I normally announce everything that I'm doing here on Instagram, but I also
Hmm.
have a website. It's called notjustaspouse.com. So easy to remember. So it's the
Yeah, and I
same. And I'm
attended
pretty on
one recently.
and I'm pretty active on LinkedIn as well. But yes, I think Instagram is a good place to start. And on my website, you can subscribe to my newsletters. I also have a calendar with all upcoming events and what I'm doing. So yes, please look it up and follow me here.
Cool.
And thank you so much,
And
Julie, for this wonderful opportunity. It's really lovely connecting
yeah,
with
to see.
you.
Well, I have to do it. Yeah, and I loved your workshop that I attended recently, and it was a really diverse group of people as well. Like, you know, from around the world. I was like, you kind of forget sometimes, like just all the different places that people can be living. So I found it a nice, refreshing reminder when I attended your workshop. And for me as well, if anyone wants I've got a short document on my Instagram of 3 tips for anyone who wants to grow a property portfolio in the UK from outside of the UK. And that really is what I wish I'd known when I first started to, you know, focus on our UK property business from Abu Dhabi as a stay-at-home mum with crazy 3-year-old twins.
Oh my God, you have twins. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got twins.
Yep. Can imagine.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll let you get off now, Anna. So wonderful to connect with you, and I'm really excited to see when we catch up again soon.
Yeah, exactly. And to everyone who is going to watch it, and to Merry Christmas. And once
Merry
again, lovely
Christmas.
connecting.
Yeah.
Bye,
Merry
Julie.
Christmas. See you, Anna. Bye.
Bye.